Hello, and welcome to our fourth, I think, session of Ripple Leadership. I am so glad that you have joined me today. And for those of you who may not have met me before, my name is Denise Waymeyer, and I work with leaders on building their leadership, making them the leaders that they want to be through a program called Ripple Leadership, as well as one-on-one coaching and team coaching and even manager and leader facilitation. So I'm happy you joined me today, whether you are joining live or you are watching the replay. I would love to hear from you, hear your comments and your thoughts around Ripple Leadership and what I can help you with in order for you to be the leader that you desire. So for a quick recap, we've had 3 sessions already. We talked about our leadership values and how we define leadership, the success that we want to have as a leader, specifically for you personally. We did that in the intro. And then we covered the importance of reflection. So really being able to reflect and figure out, where am I today as a leader? How did I get here? And where do I want to go? What's working for me? What's not working for me? A lot of that through a strong journaling practice. And then we actually talked about gaining insights from others. So if you gain insights from others, what do you get? From other resources such as performance appraisals that can give you the detail of how you're performing one way. There are other assessments that you can get, and there are a variety of forms of feedback. One of my favorite forms of feedback is actually asking our boss, our peers, our team, asking those that we work with what's working, what's not working, and what's getting in our way. If you ask them and you sincerely want to know, I bet they'll tell you. So give it a shot. Now, all of that is a lot of information, and there is a lot to figure out. So what the heck do I do with all this information? Well, you really do need to dig deep into it. You need to analyze it. You need to dissect it. You need to explore it. Whatever, you just need to look at all of it and figure out what it says. But ultimately, you want to put a plan together that will get you from where you are today and the leader you are today to be the leader that you want to be in the future. So hopefully, through all of the other work that you've done, and you're starting to see yourself through that reflection, through the insights from others, you're starting to see the leader you are today. And you're starting to see some things that maybe you like and want to keep doing, maybe a couple of things that aren't as effective and that you need to change a little bit. So you're starting to see where you want to be and where you want to go as a leader moving forward. Some people think about the the leader you are, the person you are, maybe as your brand or your reputation. I'm good with either one of those. I think those are good examples or good terms. However, I like to use the word or the term leadership identity. Your identity is something that you can create. It's something that you can design, and that will then in turn ultimately be your brand and your reputation. Now, this takes a lot of work. I know it. And we're all busy. But I promise you, given some time and attention to it, it will pay off. And in the long run, it will really help you deliver the results that you want to deliver. Now, research shows that those of us who have set highly ambitious goals have better performance and better output rates than those who don't set goals. So, all the way, I mean, there's tons of research, and I'm not going to go into it here, but there's tons of research on goal setting. And a lot of it from a very psychological perspective. So, the fact that we have that positive psychology behind goal setting, and that if we pay attention to something, it actually gets us where we want to go. Even Michelangelo said, the great danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and hitting our mark. So when you're thinking about the leader that you want to be, don't just, it may take baby steps, but don't just move here. Move here. Move to that leader that is going to make the impact that you want to make. Remember, we talked about what success looks like for you. So think back. What does success look like for you? How are you going to get there? So where I want to take us now is to kind of creating that plan. And so the first step of creating it is to identify those behaviors or habits that you need to keep, but also those that you need to change or adopt in order to achieve the identity that you're looking for. And you want to write those focused goals down and stretch goals. You've all heard of stretch goals. Yes, highly achievable goals, but you want to reach for them and focus on those habits and behaviors that you have in order to make sure that you are developing those that you want. And so one of the best places to start is through your core leadership values. And we talked about that in a couple of sessions previously. What are your values? And so looking at your values and then what habits and behaviors demonstrate those values is a way to start. It's a way to structure your plan so it's organized and it provides you with the detailed steps on how to reach the goals and achieve your desired behavior change. And so what I would love to hear from you is what your action plan looks like. What have you done that has worked? Is it a simple action plan? Is it a structured action plan? Is it a to-do list? Where is it? I'd love to hear from you on what your action plan looks like. One of the things that we do in the Ripple Leadership Program is we use a mind map. It's a process that helps us visualize the goal. And obviously, our goal in this series is to be the leader that we want to be. And so we use this mind map to where we can look at our goal to be the leader we want to be. And we use our values and our habits and our behaviors that support those values in order to identify what we need to work on. Now we look at the habits and behaviors that are working and that we regularly do that are successful, and we go, check. I want to make sure I keep doing those. So anytime you're working on development, you have to make sure you intentionally continue doing the things that have made you successful. Always focus on those things. One of the things that we need to do is then look at where do I need to develop or continue working in order to get better at a particular behavior or habit, and what are the ones that are actually ineffective or counterproductive that I need to stop doing. And so when you look at those, you're going to see, how do I make sure doing the things that are I keep doing the things that are working? How do I tweak and adjust the things that are okay, but could be better? And then how do I replace the ones that need to stop? And next week, we're actually going to talk about replacing those habits. And from a psychological perspective, how do we make sure we build up those habits that we need? So that's a little plug for next week. But what we're really doing now is focusing on the habits that we want to develop. And we'll put tasks in place for writing specific goals and creating the action plan to reach them. Those tasks are going to be very thoughtful and intentional. They're going to maybe be stretch tasks. They're going to be things that help us really work towards delivering the results that we want to deliver. And I want you to think about it this way. One of the things that we do in our jobs, and I guarantee you, every one of you does it as well. One of the things that we do is we have plans, we have strategies, we have action, deliver the results that we need to deliver to get where we need to get with our work goals, with our team, what our boss has us to do, our subject matter experts, our projects, whatever it is, we create action plans. That helps us deliver the results that we need to deliver. What do you think about creating those same type of action plans for you as a leader to get you where you want to go? Because as your projects go, as your daily work goes, do you get better results with plans that are structured and detailed and followed? Of course you do. So I encourage you to do that for your leadership development plan as well. Use the same strategy, the same process. Set ambitious goals and deliver the results that you want to be the leader you want to be. Now, one of the other things that I want you to think about is the clarity of your goals. Everybody knows about SMART goals. So if you don't, go research SMART goals. Yes, those are important. But from a mental capacity and a psychological perspective, I want you to think about making sure that there is clarity around your goals, that you know exactly what the goal is and where you want to get. It's ambitious. Don't forget that one. And then it challenges you. Maybe that's the ambition. It challenges you to maybe stretch a little bit, to work hard at it. And then make sure you're, whatever that commitment is, what's the outcome going to be? What's the reward going to be? How can you make sure you're committed? Is it through an accountability partner? Is it through a structured process or program? All of that can help your commitment. And make sure that these goals that you're setting for your leadership are the goals that are the priorities for you. Because if you have other priorities that are getting in your way, you're not going to get there because of the competing priorities. So think about that. Also, in goal setting and achieving the goals and achieving the habit or behavior change, you need to get feedback. We talked about feedback last week. We talked about getting feedback from others in general, but get real-time feedback. So as you are working on developing the habits for the goals that you've set, so you have the behaviors you want to have, get feedback. How am I doing? How's it going? When getting that feedback, also give your team or your boss, those that are observing you as you work on this new habit, give them permission to give you real-time feedback, to let you know. You told me you were working on delegating. And as we're in this meeting and you're talking about the project, you're doing everything yourself. You're not delegating. You're not empowering. Get that called out. That's when you're really real-time behavior change. And then do something with it. And then the other thing that I want to say is don't make it easy necessarily. Don't make it hard, but really make it structured. The task complexity to get to the behavior change that you want can sometimes be what's important. Because remember Michelangelo, He said, if you just have a little target, you don't set your target high, then you're going to achieve it and you've not gotten to where you want to go. So think about the complexity and the challenge that you have in order to be very thoughtful and intentional about achieving the goals that you want to be the leader that you desire. I'm going to close it out there for now. I look forward to seeing your comments and hearing from you on how you plan your leadership development, set goals, and make sure that they're attainable. And next week, we will talk about how we're going to practice those and a little bit of psychology behind how practicing behaviors develops the non-conscious habits that get us where we want to go. Thank you for listening to the replay. For those of you who will give me feedback, I am excited to hear from you and would love to engage with you more on social. I look forward to next week's session and seeing you all then. Take care.